So maybe you're like me, you have a stiff back and achy back, and if so, then stick around. I want to talk to you about the Chirp Contour Decompression Table. Hi, I'm Ralph, and welcome to the Ageless Runner. I'm a big fan of Chirp products. I find them well built, well engineered, and easy to use. And in fact, I reviewed many of their products, and there'll be a link down in the description if you want to see others. And certainly the Chirp Contour Decompression Table fits into that category. Now what I want to do is this video in 3 parts. The first part, I want to give you kind of an overview of what is a decompression table, what does it do from a high level. And then we'll jump into the studio and dig down into some of the details a little bit, show you some of the features of all the functions of the table. And then we'll come back, I'll get back down on the floor and I'll give you a demo, show you some of the nuances that my wife and I have learned in using this. Now the Contour really has 3 independent functions and they can be used together or singly, however you want. And the first is the neck massager. Massages the side of your neck, not the back. In fact, nothing on this machine touches your spine, presses on your spine. It's all the muscles around it. So the muscles on the side of your neck, the muscles on either side of your spine. So it massages the neck. The second function, really the reason for getting this thing, is the back function. Inside this little, I call it under the hood, is a roller. And you can see the roller here. And the roller actually moves up and down in a programmed pattern, depending on what you pick and what you want to do, that pushes up on your body. So it kind of stretches the muscles and lifts the spine. Every time I use this thing, my back always cracks, especially my upper back. So it's kind of trying to stretch the muscles and decompress the spine. The third function I can't show you because it's inside, and that's a heater. There's a heater to heat your back, and it's a good heater too. You will definitely feel the heat. So all these 3 functions are independent, used in any combination. In fact, they have 3 preset programs I'll talk to you about in a minute. So let's jump into the studio and go through some of the details of this unit. Welcome to the studio. So I think the best way to cover the functions of which you can do with the Contour is to actually go over the remote, because the remote has all the functions on it that you can control and manipulate while you're using the Contour. So let's start with the neck. The neck, again, massages either by coming in at the bottom of the neck and rolling up, or coming at the top of the neck and rolling down. And those are really the 2 functions you can do. You can cycle either direction. And again, some of the preset cycles we'll talk about in a minute will alternate that for you. The only other adjustability with the neck is the position, and we'll talk more about that when we get back on the floor and talk about setup and using the Contour. But really where the money meets the road here in this unit is in the back section. That's really why you'd want to get this. Don't get a Contour because you want a neck massager. It's nice to have a neck massager, but really the bang for the buck here is in the back, and there's several things you can do. There's really 3 different, I'll call, waveforms you can use with the Contour. The first one is what they call the roll, and the roll simply follows the contour of your back. So as it rolls along, going from the bottom to the top, it's kind of following a general back contour. And there's 3 pressure levels you can choose: low, medium, high. And when you change the pressure, what it does is pushes up a little higher. So it pushes up a little higher, gives you more pressure in your muscles, do more to stretch your muscles, stretch your back. So that's kind of the basic what they call the roll. Now the second pattern is what they call decompress. Imagine, let's look at a different example. Imagine you're laying flat on the bed and somebody put the back of their hand on your back and push down, then move forward a few inches and push down, move forward a few inches and push down. That's what the decompress cycle does, only in reverse. You're laying on your back, the rollers will push up, and then they'll come down and advance a little bit and push up, come down, advance a little bit and push up. And they're pushing up fairly aggressive, I'll say, maybe equivalent to the 2nd or 3rd level pressure with the roll pattern. There is no pressure adjustability with the decompress cycle. It's set. It's a fixed amount of pressure. As I said, it really stretches the back, really stretches the muscle as it moves up and down your spine, pushing up and moving different directions. So that's probably the most aggressive of the patterns. The third one is what they call local, and that's where you can move the rollers to a certain position on your back and let just massage that area. So if in the middle of your back you got some tightness or it aches a little bit, you can move the rollers there and it'll just kind of like move back and forth and massage that area. Now the third function that I said I couldn't show you, and that's heat. There are 2 levels of heat, and we'll just call it low and high. And you can feel the heat. Even on the low position, you can feel the heat. So it's not a wimpy heater. In fact, on all the preset programs we're going to talk about usually includes heat. And I find that if I use this not too long after I'm running, I get too hot. I'm too hot from the run, and then I go and lay on the Contour and the back's heating me. I get too warm. I just shut the heater off. So again, as I said before, you can use any of these functions independently or together. Now, there are three programs in this device, preset programs. The first one is called warm up, and it kind of starts easy and gets more aggressive. So it starts with a roll pattern, very low pressure, run up and down your back. It'll gradually increase the pressure, going up to the highest pressure, and then it'll switch and do the decompress cycle. So it'll do the decompress cycle for a while. Again, the neck massager is running the whole time, the back heater's on the whole time, and eventually will end after it's done so many cycles of the decompress. It takes about 10 minutes. On the other extreme is the relax cycle. It does just the opposite. It starts more aggressive. So it starts with the decompress pattern, starts more aggressive, again, works its way down to the roll, works its way down in pressure. Again, the neck's massaging you, the heater's on. So it's kind of like starting strong and finishing kind of easy, meant to relax a little bit. The middle cycle, called recovery, really alternates between the roll pattern and the decompress pattern. So do a cycle or two of roll and do a cycle or two of decompress. Again, all these cycles typically run everything. They run the neck, they run the heat, and it lasts about 10 minutes more or less. So we pretty much just use that. My wife and I like the warm up, and we just run that. We typically do the contour in the morning, so it kind of helps us get ready for the day. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are 3 rollers that come with this. The main one is what they call the contour. It's a set of 4 rollers, as you can see. This is a hard rubber, and so it's meant to kind of like go along the spine. It does swivel, kind of moves along. When I say the spine, it's not pressing on the spine. It's moving along the back. It's pushing on the muscles on either side of the back, because you can see it's open in the center, and these rollers are on the muscles on the back. Nothing on this pushes on the spine. So it goes along the back and kind of gives you 4 contact points as it moves along your back. The other one is what they call the soft roller. Again, it's a larger diameter, but it's very compressible rubber. So it's meant to be a little softer pressure on your back, something that's not quite as hard as the contour. The third one is meant to be a deep tissue. You can see it's got this angled pattern. It's a harder rubber, a little bit of give, but not a little harder rubber, meant to stretch those muscles on either side of your spine. I haven't had the nerve yet to use this one. It may be too aggressive for me. I'm a bit of a baby about those things. But it does stretch the muscles more and provides a little deeper tissue massage should you want it. All these are very easy to remove and insert in. It takes almost no effort. They just pop out and pop right in. And they're stored right under the hood, as I like to call it. Do I mention you get a little pamphlet, instruction pamphlet with it. It's got some basic instructions. But also, I want to call your attention to the warnings page. The warnings page. You want to read through those warnings. Most of them are very obvious. For example, don't use it under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Don't leave it unattended, things like that. But do make sure you check out those warnings, because it is equipment you're using on your body. Now, again, if before we jump back down the floor and do a demo, I do have a link down in the description. If you're interested in this, it's a link to the Chirp website. And I'd appreciate it if you want to buy the contour or buy any product from Chirp using that link, because I get a small commission when you do that. It helps with the things I like doing on my channel. But as my thanks, I do have a coupon code. Ageless Runner will get you 10% off. Now, the web page on the contour says coupon codes are not accepted. However, Ageless Runner works. Today's May 15th. I tried it this morning, and if you put the Ageless Runner coupon code in on the contour, you get 10% off, as you would any other product on the Chirp website. So let's head back to the floor and do a little demo. Hey, welcome back to the floor. I thought we'd do a little demo now. So you understand a little bit of functions, how they work. Again, they can be used interchangeably, independently, however you want to do that. So to get the most benefit on this, it's really important how you position your body along the length of the contour. And we do that by positioning our back, so that when you lay on this, the back rollers, which should be in the bottom position, when you plug this unit in, the head massager goes all the way to the top and the back rollers go all the way to the bottom. If they're not at the bottom, hit the change rollers button and it'll bring the roller all the way down. But get those rollers all the way down. Then sit on the edge and lean back. And those rollers should be in the small part of your back, that curved part of your back, around your belt line or slightly below. Then lay back and then use the remote to lower the neck unit until the nose are just touching your shoulder. You need to get that in the right position, because that kind of tells the contour how tall you are. Again, people between 5'0" and 6'5" can use this thing. So it needs to know how tall you are, how far to move the rollers for your body height. So bring the neck rollers down until they're just touching your shoulders. That will tell it how tall you are and do the right movement for the back roller. So let me jump on here. So again, sit on the edge of the contour and lay back. Again, those back rollers should be in the small part of your back. And at the moment, these rollers are a little too low for me, so I'm going to lift them up a little bit. Again, use the up and down arrows on the remote to get the neck position properly, the nose just touching the neck. Back rollers are kind of in the small portion of my back, and you're good to go. What do you want to do? You want to run one of the routines Do you want to run the roll or the decompress cycle? I'm just going to turn on roll. And it's starting to move up my back. I've gone to the lowest pressure. I don't have any heat on. I'm not running the neck. Let me turn the neck on. And now it's massaging my neck. And one thing I find is when the rollers get up to the upper part of my back, maybe it's because I'm still pretty stiff, it lifts my neck a little bit out of the neck massage rollers. Oh, my back just cracked. Not a big deal, except you don't get a lot of neck massaging when the back rollers are up in the upper part. But as soon as it moves down, gets down towards below the middle of my back, my neck kind of falls back into place and continues to massage it. So when you're done, you can just turn it off or hit whatever cycle button you're on just to shut it off. And generally you have to hold the function buttons for 2 seconds. And I do find that when you turn the back cycle off, it kind of wants to move down to the bottom, which is good. It's kind of a starting position. Now, a couple nuances my wife and I have learned. If you're like me and your back is really stiff like mine is, the first time you use this thing, you might find it very uncomfortable. First couple of times for me, I found it uncomfortable because I'm just so stiff. But after a few times using this thing, my back is like decompressed some. It's not nearly as uncomfortable. My wife, it took about 1 session, and every time she uses it now, she says she thinks she could drift off to sleep. So it's relaxed her that much. So it does take a few sessions to maybe work through that initial stiffness and get some of the benefit. The second point I want to make is I think a lot of the benefit of using this comes from somewhat of a regular use. Doesn't have to be every day, but think about using it 3 or 4 times a week. Once you get your back to the level of comfort you like, use it 3 or 4 times a week to maintain that flexibility, keep those muscles stretched, and everything feeling really good. But it does everything it claims to do. Again, it's very well built, very robust. You can slide this under your bed. It's not that big. It's 43 inches by 23 inches wide, 7 inches deep. Weighs 22 pounds, but it's got a nice carrying handle on the side here. You can pick it up and move it around. So it's very compact and portable. And I don't think I mentioned it yet, but the power supply that's plugged into the outlet over there, that'll fit inside the hood here, under what I call under the hood. There's plenty of room underneath there. You can store that in there if you want to store it. So again, if you're interested in this, there is a link down in the description. Again, I would appreciate if you use that link. I get a small commission should you decide to buy it. And don't forget to use the coupon code AGELESS. That works on any product on the Chirp site. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Remember, run smarter, go longer, and stay ageless. Thank you.